Nurse Sue here and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make meatball vegetable soup. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a make one, freeze one. Hurricane season is over. It's time to get my freezer restocked with meals that are all ready to go. Makes my life easier after work. I love this because I can pull it out and use it for lunches if I don't feel like meal prepping that week. Or I can use it for dinner if I just want something quick for dinner because I have a later night at work. Anything like that. So what I have here is I have my crock pot with some turkey meatballs in it. And the next thing I'm going to do is just take my freezer bag and I'm going to take a bag of turkey meatballs and dump that in here. All right, the meatballs are in. The next thing I'm going to add is this is a 45-ounce jar of spaghetti sauce. Whatever kind you want, doesn't matter. You can do straight marinara if you like they have the garlic basil, whatever you want to put in there, you're good to go. All right, now I'm going to do my next jar right into my meatballs. I figure if I'm already prepping dinner, I might as well throw one in the freezer at the same time. Let's just keep this going. Now I'm going to rinse these out in just a little bit just because I can't throw away all that yummy sauce and all those good spices in there. All right, the next thing I'm going to add is chicken broth. So if you buy those boxes of chicken broth, you're just going to put the entire box in, okay? I don't use the boxes. I make my own chicken stock and then I freeze them in silicone molds and then I just vacuum seal them into a bag and then stick them in the freezer that way. So I'm going to put 2 blocks of chicken broth in here, which is 4 cups. And again, you would just use the box because that's going to give you the 32 ounces that you need. I'm looking at this going, oh, wow, that's my crock pot's gonna be full because everything's frozen. Now in my bag, again, I'm gonna go ahead and put my 4 cups of my broth in here. But keep in mind that for your broth, if I'm doing a 32 ounce box of broth, I'm not going to pour that in here. I'm going to put on the label to add that because you're going to have way too much in here frozen. And actually, I might not be able to do my blocks either. So, you know what? I'm going to pull this out. Nope, you know what? I can make it fit down in there. Perfect. Okay. So that's my the 2 cups in there. And then I'm going to maybe add the rest of that after I see where my vegetables go, because I still have to fit my vegetables in here. But I wouldn't pour 4 cups of liquid in here along with all this sauce. It's going to be way too much in the freezer, and God forbid something get a hole in it, you're in trouble. The next thing I'm going to add, and this will kind of start to cook down too, so it's going to look super full, but it's going to cook down obviously once my blocks start to melt. I'm going to take a bag of vegetables, and I'm going to just add my vegetables in here as well. And I love this because it's done so quick and easy, and I just love me a good freezer meal because they're so easy to pull them out, put them in the crock pot, and you're all set to go. I'm going to throw that one in there. All right, so we have our pasta sauce, we've got the meatballs, the vegetables, we've got the broth. This is all we're doing. I'm going to turn this on, let this start to cook down. When it is finished, I'm going to add a bag of baby spinach just to give it a little bit more nutrients in there with our vegetables. I'm just going to throw this in for the last few minutes of cooking. Then we're going to have dinner. I made some homemade sourdough bread, so we're going to have sourdough bread. I'll put some garlic butter on it along with our meatball vegetable soup. That's it. And I have another meal in the freezer. Now, what I like to do with this is I don't make the cutesy labels and stick a label on there. Labels don't tend to stick for me for some reason. I like to use painter's tape. And I will literally put painter's tape on there that's going to say meatball vegetable soup, heat in the crock pot, add, if I can't get the broth in there, I'll say add the broth or add spinach at the end. Or I just write notes on it. And then once we pull it out to use it, the painter's tape comes right off, but it doesn't fall off in the freezer. I've had labels that fall off in the freezer. It makes me kind of crazy. But anyways, that's it. Got your meatballs, you got your pasta sauce, some chicken broth, some vegetables. Gonna let this cook. Once this cooks down, I will add the spinach to it, and dinner's on the table, or lunches. Could be lunches. Thanks for stopping by my kitchen today. I hope you'll give the recipe a try.